Good morning, students. In last class, we have discussed the evolution, where here the evolution means the studying of the organisms from the pre-existing ones by slow and gradual changes. So here in the evolution, we have studied the theories we have studied and how chemical evolution has taken place. From chemical evolution, here it shows the evidences for the that is the Stanley Miller an experiment, where here from a simple inorganic components the life is existed, that is proved by the Stanley Miller's. Later we have studied the Darwin's theory, that is biological evolution, or we can call that as the organic and evolution, where we have studied Lamarckism as well as the Darwinisms, and also we have studied the Hadley-Weinberg law, the factors affecting the Hadley-Weinberg law, and also we have studied brief account evolution, and lastly we have discussed how the origin and evolution of humans are taken place. So here evolution of humans, there are 4 types, that is ancestral apes, ape men, that is a primitive man, and lastly that is a modern men. So these are the how we already have discussed in the last class, that is in the topic is called as an evolution. Next we are going into another new topic that we can call as an ecology. We are studying about the ecology. In this ecology, we will study organisms and environment. Ecology. In this, we will study the organisms and population. So here in this topic we will study what are organisms and how they are a population. That means here we will study about both abiotic as well as biotic components, as well as here how their interaction is taken place, and later we will discuss the abiotic components. Then we will study the factors of the abiotic components and adaptations of the plants and animals, and also the population altitudes. Later we will discuss the population and interactions. So these are the various concepts where they are presenting in an organisms and a population. Now coming to the first one, what is an ecology? Here, what is an ecology? So here what is an ecology means, here eco or ekios means home, logy means a study. So here we can write ekios. Ekios means the home, or logy means the study. So here the study of the home. What is home means, here we can use the home, that is the interaction between, here an interaction between a living and a non-living organisms. Living and a non-living and organisms. That means in home we'll having both living organisms and a non-living organisms is presenting in an environment, that is home environment. Here home means that we can call as an environment. In the environment, here will consist of both a living as well as a non-living organisms or interaction is taken place, so that we can call them as home. So here what is this ecology means, here we can study the studying of biotic and the study of living organisms and the study of interaction between between living and the environment. So here that is studying about a living organism, that is biotic and abiotic components. Both together we can call that as the interaction between a living and the environment. This study we can call as that is we can call as an ecology. Here ecos means home and logy means study. So here it is an interaction between a living and the environment, or otherwise you can use the word as here interaction between biotic and abiotic organisms. That means living and a non-living, that is interaction between a living and a non-living organisms. Then this process we can call as an ecology. So here the first ecology, the word ecology is produced by a scientist that is called as Ernest Haeckel. The word ecology is produced by a scientist. That scientist we can call as an Ernest Haeckel. And India father of an ecology we can call as a Misra, or Misra we can call as the father of ecology. The father of Indian ecology, Indian ecologist is R. Misra. He is a scientist where we can call as the father of the Indian ecologist. And here we have studied, that is ecology, which is studied, it is the ecology is divided into two branches. It is divided into two branches. Ecology is divided into two types. So one we can call as the autoecology, and second one we can call as a synecology. So here, what is an autoecology means? Auto means self. That means it is a study of interrelation between relationship between the species or individuals. Then we can call this as that means studying about relationship between the species of an environment or the individual species. We can call that as the autoecology. And here we'll study about synecology means here it is the study of interrelationship between between the a group of species, a group of species, that is here a plant and animal species, that is a plant and animal species. So such type, that means here a group of species interaction is taken place between a group of species, we can call as a synecology, and if it is interaction between a single individual species, then we can call as an autoecology, or otherwise here we can write it is interaction between a plant and the animal species, then we can call that as the synecology. So here the evolution, that is in ecology, here it starts with a basic, starts with a cell, and it is complete with the biosphere. That is a representation of an ecology where we can take place in these organisms. So here it is taken place from a living as well as a non-living organism. From a non-living, it is we can call from atoms or molecules. From atoms, molecules, they are combined together to form cells. From cells, like that, here the cells. From cells, here the cell. From cell to it is forming to the a tissue. From a tissue to the an organ. From organ to the an organ system. From organ system, it is called as an organism. From organism, it is called as the population. From population to the communities. From communities to the ecosystem. From ecosystem, here it is the biosphere. So here these are the where here it helpful for the formation of the hierarchy, that is we can call this as the hierarchy of the ecosystem. Here we can use the word as the hierarchy of an ecosystem or ecology. So here the hierarchy will be taken place, that is starting with a living and a non-living. Here a non-living means here molecules from atoms to the molecules, from molecules to the cells. So here from non-living, from here it starts with a living, that is a cell. From cell to the tissues, you know the tissues means a group of cells we can call as tissues. A group of tissues are called as organs. A group of organs are called as organ system, and a group of organ system formation is called as an organism. Here group of organism, it forms the population. From population to the communities. From communities to the an ecosystem. Here ecosystem means here it is an interaction between a living and a non-living organisms. So here in our body, here one system, that means intestine is also can be taken place as an ecology, where here interaction between a living and a non-living and environments. And also here from ecosystem it forms into a biosphere, where here the earth is the one of the planet, where here earth is considered as a biosphere. So here when the earth, that means when the earth is formed, here the ecosystem, here interaction between a living and a non-living organisms are taken place. So when these are taken place, here it helpful for the formation of the rotation of the earth around the sun, and the title of its axis causes the annual variations in this intensity and duration of temperature result. That means here that is intensity of light, temperature, soil and water. These are the abiotic components which are interacted with the living organism, where here we can taken place as an biome also. Here what is a biome means? It is a large naturally occurring a community of flora and fauna occupying a major habitat. So here what is this biome means? Here a large naturally occurring community. Here a biome. What is a biome means? A large naturally occurring community of flora and a fauna. Flora and fauna occupying a major habitat. So habitat means the living place where the organisms are presenting, that is we can call as a habitat. The major habitat, major means a large area, where here it consisting of a flora and fauna. Here flora means plants, fauna means animals. So here we are having it is a large placely occupying organisms, where it will consist of plants and animals, where consisting a large occupying habitat. So such place we can call as a biomes. And also we can use the word as a tundra also, where it is a vast flat, a treeless Arctic region of Asia, Europe and also North America, which is in which the subsoil is permanently frozen. That means here tundra means it is a large vast areas where occupying of the Europe, Asia and North America, where here the subsoil component, that means subsoil component is completely frozen. Frozen means it will not be presenting. Then such condition we can call them as a tundra. Tundra. What is tundra means? Here it is a vastless that is having the Asian continent, that is in Europe, Asia as well as North American, where here having a subcontinental, that means subcontinental part of the frozen part we can call as tundras. So here we'll having in this interaction will consist of the water. The first one is the temperature, second one is water, and third one is light, and fourth one is soil, where here the interaction is taken place along the continent, that is abiotic component. These are the four factors, that are the four factors which acts as the abiotic components. What are that abiotic components means? That are one is so here an abiotic components. abiotic components. So here an abiotic components are there are 4 abiotic components are presenting. First one is the temperature. First one is the temperature. The second one is the water, and the third one is the sunlight, or otherwise you can call it as light, or sunlight, or light. And fourth one is the soil. So these are the 4 and abiotic components where here interaction of the living and non-living. So here abiotic are the 4 temperatures, 4 that is living components. Living components or biotic components are the plants and animal species which are presenting. So here in these abiotic components, the 4 abiotic components, one by one we will discuss in this topic, that is abiotic components. Now coming to the first one, that is a temperature. So here first one, the temperature. Here a temperature, it is an important a character of an abiotic organisms. That is an abiotic component. It is one of the an important factor where that is presenting in living as well as non-living organisms. I means in living organisms also these plays, that means temperature will plays a very an important role. Here towards the equatorial, that means towards from equatorial equator towards from the equator towards the poles, here the temperature will gradually decreases, and away from the poles here the temperature is more will be presenting in the temperature. That is this where it acts as one of the an important factor. And also here the thermal springs, and that is thermal springs as well as the deep sea hydrothermals, the thermal springs, thermal springs, and also a deep thermal hydro springs, deep thermal the hydrothermal deep sea, it is deep sea hypothermal. Here the temperature is more than the 100 degree centigrade. Here it is presenting. Here the temperature in this, that is in thermal springs and deep sea hypothermal, the temperature will be more will be presenting in the more than 100 degrees centigrade it is presenting. And also here the temperature present in organisms, that is in living organisms, here living organisms, temperature in living organisms also plays an important role in kinetics, and also a BMR, a basal metabolic rate. In these it helpful for, that means kinetic means here we can taken place as the kinetics, BMR, and also physiological factors. In this also it takes place the physiological and also in the physiological activities. activities here it plays a very important role. Kinetics means here it is taken place in the presence of an enzymes. Kinetic means the movement of organisms. So here enzymes will act upon the temperature only. If at an optimum temperature, an optimum temperature, that is optimum temperature is 30 to 35 degrees centigrade, the temperature, the enzymes are more active in structure. They are more active in structure. If the temperature is extended here, the enzyme activity will be destroyed. So once the enzyme activity is destroyed means here the function of the enzymes will not be taken place, so that here the substances cannot be able to convert it into substrates. Substances cannot be converted, that means substrates are not converted into substances, where at optimum temperature, that is 30 to 35 degrees centigrade only, these are enzymes are active. When they are increases, here the enzyme activity will gradually decreases. And also here BMR, basal metabolic rate, also will be affecting on the temperature. And also the physiological activities. All the physiological activities are under the control of this temperature only. And also here based on the temperature, the organisms are classified into two types. One is we can call as urohalines, and second one is stenothermals. Urothermal and stenothermal. One is urothermal and stenothermal. Urothermal means here the temperature is increases, that means the organisms can able to tolerate a broad range of, that means it increases, they can able to tolerate the broad range of a temperature, can able to resist, then such type of organisms are called as urohalines. That is urohalines which can tolerate a wide range of a temperature, they can able to tolerate. Urothermal means they can tolerate a wide range of temperature. That means the organisms can able to tolerate at a high range or wide range of temperature, they can able to tolerate, then such type of organisms are called as urothermal organisms. And stenothermal means they can able to tolerate, if they can able to tolerate a narrow range of temperature, then such type of organisms are called as stenothermal. So they are called as stenothermal. So here based on the temperature, based on the presence of the temperature, here these are organisms are classified based on a temperature. Here the organisms are classified into two types. One is urothermal. Uro means wide range. That means the organisms which can tolerate a wide range of temperature, then we can call them as urohalines. And if they can able to tolerate at a narrow range of temperature, then such type of organisms are called as stenothermal. So here it is placed, the temperature will place, that means towards the equatorial, from equatorial towards the temperature is gradually decreased, away from temperature, here away from the poles the temperature is gradually increases. And also in the thermal springs and also deep sea, the hypothermals, here the temperature is more than 100 degrees centigrade are presenting. And also here the temperature will plays a very important role in basal metabolic rate, as well as here they can able to tolerate basal metabolic rate kinetics, then they are under control of an enzymes, and also all physiological activities are under the control of the temperature. This is a first that is abiotic component, that is a temperature. Next, coming to the second one. Coming to the second one, that is we can call as the water. And second one is the water. So here a water is also a very important a factor which influence on the living organisms, and also here it shows the productivity and the distribution of plants are also depending upon the water only. That means the productivity. That means here water plays an important role in water plays an important role in living organisms. I means here water, without water the enzymes are not be activated. Without water the enzymes are not be activated, so that all physiological activities of the plants or animals, here water is a very an essential factors. And also here if you see here the productivity of the plants, that is here we can say that is productivity and also distribution of plants, productivity and distribution of the plants is taken place in the presence of water only. Presence of water. Why means in enzyme in a plants, here compulsory for the germination of seeds are the enzymes which are presenting here compulsory, and also for the photosynthesis. For the photosynthesis here water is very an essential factor. So when they are combined with water, here they can able to prepare their own food materials. And also here the water which is absorbed by the plants that are transported to different parts of the plant body, and again that water only about here a 10% of water, the 10% of the water is utilized for the in plants only 10% of water is utilized. Water is utilized for the metabolical activities. That means only a 10% of water only and utilized by the plants for their metabolical activities, and remaining that 90% of water is eliminated in the form of again they are transported in the form of a transpiration only. That means in the form of transpiration a 90% of water is escaping into the atmosphere, so that again that water will be replaced onto the earth's surface in the form of rains. So here only 10% is utilized by the plants for their metabolical activities, And in animals also, without water, the animals cannot able to survival. Why means here the enzyme activity is taken place in the presence of the water only. So here these will plays a very important role, and also here the salinity in aquatic plants, that is the salinity of the plants, the salinity varies in an aquatic environment. The salinity varies. The salinity varies in aquatic environment. So here aquatic environment, here the salinity varies. That means salinity means the salt concentration of the water will represents the salinity, where here in aquatic water will consist of only a 5%. A 5% is presenting 5% of salinity. 5% of salinity is present in inland waters. Inland water, that is we can use the word as freshwater forms. Freshwater. In freshwater, the salinity is only a 5%. In seawater, that will consist of 30 to 35% is presenting the salinity is presenting in seawater. That means the salinity will be presenting in seawater, that is 30 to 35% will be presenting, and more than that will be presenting in more than 100% is presenting in hypersaline lagoons. That means more 100% of salinity. 100% of salinity is presenting in hypersalinity lagoons. That is hypersalinity lagoons. In these lagoons, hypersalinity lagoons, in these will consist of the more 100% of salinity. That means salinity means the salt concentration. 100% of salt concentration is presenting in hypersalinity. Lagoons will having the 100% salinity is presenting, and 30 to 35% is presenting in seawater, and only 5% of salinity is presenting in freshwater forms. And also based on the salinity, here the organisms are classified into two types based on the salinity. Based on the salinity. Based on the salinity, the organisms are classified. The organisms are classified into two types. First one is urohalines and sterohalines, and second one is stenohalines. One is urohalines and the second one is stenohalines. So here urohalines, that is urohaline means here they can able to tolerate the organisms which can tolerate a wide range of salinity, then such type of organisms we can call them as urohalines. That means they can able to tolerate a wide range. If they can tolerate, then we can call them as urohalines. Next one, the organisms which can tolerate a narrow range of salinity, the salinity, then such type of organisms we can call them as stenohalines. So here, based on the salinity, the organisms are classified into two types. One is wide range organisms are called as urohalines, and if they can tolerate a narrow range, then we can call them as stenohalines. So the remaining that will be discussed in the next class.